my next project.
Well, I've got a new toy to try out, and if you can't see on the box, but you can't on that side, this is a biscuit joiner. I've actually never used one before, so I'm pretty excited to try it out. A little wrench here, this will be to take the blade off. It's got 3 stops here for 0, 10, and 20, and then there's a couple other ones, a S, D, and max. And the fence goes up and down so you can set the depth of the stock you're working with. You can even do these at angles, and there's a little gauge here on the side to let you know how deep it is. So, looks pretty cool.
This picture here shows where you set how deep from the top of the board the biscuit joint will be, and then you can set it to an angle as well. Very easy to use these. And now you can see the positive stops here. You can see barely on this picture that it says 20 and 10. The common biscuits are 20, 10, and 0. What you see here is me making marks on the boards that will be joined together. This is where the biscuit joiner you will line up your mark on the biscuit joiner with the mark on the board. And here you can see the front of the biscuit joiner. You'll line up this arrow with the lines you make on the boards. As we start making some cuts here, you can see by this video here that the dust collection does not work very well with that bag. One thing I'll definitely be doing in the future is buying an attachment to hook up to my shop vac to use when I use this. If I had known it was going to be this bad, I would have definitely rolled my workbench outside to keep from having so much dust go all over the shop. Really, this thing is very easy to use. It cuts a slot in the board, and then you put a biscuit in there and you glue it up and clamp it. Very happy with how this is working so far. As I've only done a few cuts and made a couple projects with this, I'm very excited to get to use this in woodworking in the future.
Since I've never used one of these before, I can't really compare it to anything, and what I can say is that this dust collection bag on here does not work very well. So I will definitely be needing, as you can see, or maybe you can't see on my workbench, all kinds of dust. I like that it's got this feature where you can lock it in place and the blade stays running. I like that it's battery powered. I don't have to have an extension cord, and now that I know what kind of mess it can leave, I'll be able to take this outside without having to string an extension cord out. So far I've made probably 30 cuts or so, and I like it. It's going to be fun to use. I think I'm going to really enjoy using it. I've never used one of these before, so I wanted to let you guys see me use it for the first time and get my immediate reaction. Also, if you have a biscuit joiner, leave comments below so that other people that happen to find this can know how you feel about this one and other biscuit joiners.
After having time to think about the purchase of this biscuit joiner and using it, I wanted to give you my final thoughts. This is not a recommendation to buy a Makita biscuit joiner or any biscuit joiner. Not taking brand into consideration, this is how I feel about the purchase of a biscuit joiner, the tool and not the brand. I assume most biscuit joiners work the same as I give this review on a biscuit joiner, but since I've only used this one, I don't know that for sure. I looked at a couple different biscuit joiners before I decided to get this one. I'll put those links below. The main reason I chose the Makita biscuit joiner was because of the battery powered. These were literally my first cuts ever in this video using a biscuit joiner, and I thought it went pretty well. I was simply joining boards for a panel glue up for shop stools. You'll see that video later. The dust collection was definitely disappointing and will have to be upgraded. It's hard to ding this because I didn't know how well I expected the dust collection to work on this system. Once I hook it up to the shop vac, I think it'll work much better. Overall, it is very easy to use and really no setup besides turning a few knobs to get this thing ready to go. I would love to hear your thoughts on biscuit joiners and if you think they will add value to your shop, especially for the Ryobi corded biscuit joiner since it was the other one I heavily considered. For myself, I definitely think that this tool adds value to my shop and I will get a good experience out of this for years to come. Again, I'm not recommending you buy a Makita biscuit joiner or any biscuit joiner. I'm just reviewing the tool and saying what I think about the biscuit joiner and that I think it will add value to my shop experience.
So thanks for sticking around and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if this happens to be the first video. And otherwise, y'all will see me next time.